Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily, bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening on. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Or check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link.
Okay, so you know that YouTube video you sent me?
About finding happiness at work.
Yeah, that one. With Dr. Laurie Santos from Yale. She had this this crazy example.
Oh, about the pest control worker.
Yes. The one who loves his job.
Hmm.
It totally changes how you think about a dream job, you know?
Yeah, it really makes you rethink things. I think we often have this idea that a good job means...
a big paycheck.
Exactly. Big salary, fancy title, maybe even a corner office. But the research that Dr. Santos talks about shows there's more to it. Like, what actually makes us happy at work?
So it's not all about the external stuff.
Not necessarily. I mean, those rewards are nice.
Oh, of course.
But they're not the whole picture.
It's kind of like what she calls the money myth,
Yeah,
right?
the money myth. Yeah, the idea that more money equals more happiness. But studies show that once you're making a decent living, like enough to be comfortable...
Doubling or tripling your income doesn't really move the needle.
It really doesn't. Like, it doesn't make you that much happier.
Yeah.
Which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah, totally. So, even if you land that huge promotion you've been working towards...
it's not a guarantee you'll suddenly feel fulfilled.
there's got to be something more to it than that.
There is. And Dr. Santos, she sort of takes us back in time, you know, looking at how we even got to this point.
Like how we started seeing work as a chore.
Yeah. Like, something we have to do, not something we want to do.
She brings up Adam Smith, right? The economist.
Adam Smith, yeah. He's considered the father of economics, and his view was basically that humans are...
lazy.
Ha. Basically, he believed we need those financial incentives to get us going.
Which, I mean, it makes sense to a degree.
Yeah, but it's kind of a cynical view.
It also kind of leads to that whole rat race feeling.
The rat race, yeah. And she talks about the Skinner box experiments.
Where they trained rats to press levers for food.
Exactly. Those experiments were huge at the time, showing how powerful rewards can be. But...
or not rats, right?
Exactly. We're way more complex than that. And if we only design workplaces around, external rewards...
like just dangling money in front of us.
Yeah. We miss out on what really drives us on a deeper level.
Which is...
meaning and purpose.
Mm.
That's huge. That's what Dr. Santos is saying. When we find work that feels meaningful, it's not a chore anymore. It's something we're drawn to.
it's like you actually want to do it, not just have to.
Right. And that's where real job satisfaction comes from.
And she uses those examples of like hospital custodial staff.
Oh, yeah, they're a great example. It's not a job that's usually seen as glamorous or anything.
But they find it fulfilling.
They do, because they found a way to connect it to a bigger purpose.
So instead of seeing themselves as just cleaners,
they see themselves as caregivers.
Yeah.
They're contributing to patient well-being.
it's not about the actual tasks. It's about the meaning behind them.
You got it. And that leads us to one of the most, one of the most important things Dr. Santos talks about.
Job crafting.
Job crafting. It sounds kind of, I don't know, made up, but...
like you just decide what your job is.
It's not quite like that. But it does mean taking control, being creative with how you approach your work.
So it's about bringing more of yourself into what you're already doing.
Exactly. So instead of thinking, ugh, I hate my job.
You try to find ways to make it more
you. More aligned with your strengths, your values, what you actually care about.
Okay, but how do you actually do that?
Well, that's a great question. It's a great question, and I think Dr. Santos would say it starts with really understanding yourself.
Like before you even start trying to change your job.
Yeah, like what are your strengths? What do you really care about? What gets you motivated?
So it's like doing a deep dive into yourself first.
Exactly. Think about what comes naturally to you, what kind of impact you want to make on the world. Once you know that stuff,
then you can figure out how to bring it into your work.
Exactly. You know, she actually has this really cool example in her lecture. This guy, Marty, he's an exterminator.
An exterminator.
Yeah. He's been doing it for like 40 years, and he loves it.
I mean, that's not usually the first job you think of when you're talking about, like, being happy at work.
I know, right? But he talks about how much variety there is. Every day is different, new challenges, always learning something new.
So it keeps things interesting for him.
Totally. And he's not just focused on, setting traps and spraying stuff.
He actually cares about the people he's helping.
He does. There's this story about how there's a student who was terrified of a cockroach, like wouldn't even get out of bed.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So Marty goes in there, and he's not just, like, getting rid of the bug.
He's calming her down, making her feel safe.
Yeah, like, he recognizes how much stress these pests can cause people.
So he's kind of like a therapist in a way.
Yeah. He's treating the problem, but he's also dealing with the emotional side of it.
It's like he's found a way to make it more than just, a job.
He really has. And it makes you wonder, like, what stops other people from doing this?
From job crafting, you mean?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things is just not knowing it's even possible.
Like people feel stuck.
Yeah, they think they just have to accept whatever job they have and that's it.
So they're stuck in the rat race without realizing they can get out.
Exactly. They just feel helpless, like there's nothing they can do. But this guy, Marty, he shows that even in a job like that,
Exterminating.
right, you can still find ways to make it your own.
But what about fear? Isn't that a big thing?
Fear. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like being afraid to try something new, step outside your comfort zone.
What if you mess up?
Right. Or what if your boss doesn't like it?
Yeah, what if you have a really controlling boss, like there's no room to do your own thing?
That's tough, for sure. Not every workplace is going to be open to this kind of thing.
So what do you do then?
Well, it might take some time. You got to start small, show your boss that it actually works.
Like prove it to them?
Yeah, show them that it's not about slacking off, it's about getting better results.
So they see that it's actually good for everyone.
Right. And those results, they can be pretty powerful. People are happier, they get more done, the whole team benefits.
Okay, so let's say you have a good boss. You're ready to try this job crafting thing.
How do you actually do it? Where do you start?
Yeah, what are the steps?
Well, the first thing is to really pay attention to your day, Like,
Right.
when do you actually feel good at work? What are you doing? Who are you with?
It's like being a detective, looking for clues about what you actually enjoy.
Yes, exactly. And once you know what those moments are,
You try to do more of that stuff.
yeah, think about how you can make those moments bigger,
Yeah.
Maybe take on more responsibilities in that area or find a way to bring that thing into other parts of your work.
So you're tweaking your job to make it fit you better.
You got it. And don't be afraid to talk to your boss about it. Maybe there are trainings you can take or projects you can volunteer for.
So you're not just waiting around hoping things will get better.
Right. You're taking charge, making it happen.
And it's not like a one-time thing either, right?
No, it's a process. You're always experimenting, figuring out what works best for you.
It's like those janitors we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah. They show that even small changes can make a big difference.
Like maybe just rearranging your desk.
Exactly. Or finding ways to have more fun with your coworkers, little things like that.
It's about bringing your personality into it, no matter what kind of job you have.
Exactly. It's been so interesting talking about this. It really makes you see things differently.
It does.
Hmm.
But what about, like, the bigger picture? How does this affect the whole workplace?
That's a great question. Because it's not just about individuals, right? It can actually change the whole culture of a company.
So we've been talking about how job crafting can, like, help us be happier at work.
Yeah, how to find more meaning in what we do.
But it's not just about each of us individually, right?
Right. It can actually, it can affect everyone.
The whole workplace.
Yeah, the whole culture of a company.
It's like if everyone's happier and more into their work,
It kind of spreads,
a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And that can lead to, well, a bunch of good things, like people working together better, being more creative.
Getting more,
Yeah, being more productive. So it's not just good for the employees.
it's good for the company too.
Exactly. And this is where I think managers and leaders have a really important role.
They can actually encourage this whole job crafting thing.
They can by creating the right environment, one where people feel comfortable.
Like they have some freedom.
Yeah, like they can try new things, grow, and their work is actually appreciated.
So it's about trusting people to do their best work.
And giving them the space to do it instead of, breathing down their necks all the time.
It's like moving away from that old way of managing people where it's all about control.
And more towards a way where everyone's working together.
And people feel like they matter,
Yeah, like they're respected and their ideas are valued and they actually want to contribute.
which makes for a much better team, right?
For sure. Happier, more productive, the whole thing just works better.
So it sounds like everyone wins.
They do. But it all starts with this idea that, people aren't just robots.
I mean, all the things we care about.
Passions, We want to do something that matters.
So as we finish up here, what's the main thing you want our listener to take away from this whole conversation?
I think the biggest takeaway is don't wait around for the perfect job.
It's about making the job you have
Better.
by using this job crafting thing.
Right. Find ways to make it more meaningful, to make it something you actually enjoy doing.
And even small changes can help, right?
Absolutely. It's a journey. There will be bumps along the way, but if you keep trying, keep learning,
And don't give up.
you can create a work life that you actually love.
And who knows, maybe you'll even inspire other people to do the same.
Exactly. The more people who try this, the better workplaces will become.
Well, this has been awesome. Thanks for diving into this with me.
It was my pleasure. And remember, everyone, you have the power to make your work life better. Start today.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you receive value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show on social media with your friends and tag the show at the Wellness Lab Digest on Instagram. Number 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening on. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me at empoweringmen.org/contact. And right now we have a free ebook to get you started on your wellness journey as well. That's empoweringmen.org/contact. To support this podcast, check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page or simply click the Support the Show link.